This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. We got a number of stories to get into. We have women looking for men at Home Depot. We'll get into that. We got a doomsday fish. Matter of fact, not one, but two. We have also Walmart trying to jack prices. We got Disney. Got something with Disney. We got so many other stories. Let's just get into this. Let's start with the story of Elon versus our president. Of course, recently had a huge falling out. Apparently, friendship over...
No one predicted this would have happened. No one could have predicted that Elon Musk and Trump would eventually have a falling out. And
you can see now, apparently, Elon and our president are now having a big beef. Mean tweets flying back and forth. The fact is, it's kind of curious because I was thinking Elon was trying to be honest, like, hey, look, we need to cut this bill, make it smaller. But apparently that's not really the full story, my friends. It appears that Elon left out a little bit. He left out the fact that he already knew it was big. And he left out that there was something in it that got cut that was vital and important to him. And maybe this is the real reason he's criticizing this bill. Now, unfortunately, there seems to be a falling out going on between our president and Elon. Let's just check this out.
crash out on each other. I'm going to be real. I'm surprised it lasted this long.
Elon endorsed me very strongly. He actually went up in campaign for me. Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here. And he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate, because that's billions and billions of dollars. And he said the most beautiful things about it.
So I kind of feel like maybe you know what? I kind of feel like he didn't know everything that was in this bill. I mean, obviously, Elon is not omnipresent. He was focused on Doge for a long time there. He clearly wasn't focused on a bill that had nothing to do with him. However, our president was focused on it. So I kind of have a hard time believing that Elon knew everything about the bill. I have a hard time believing that. But perhaps he did know some things. Clearly, he knew about the part that got cut out, the EV mandate, which, of course, was what Elon wanted as part of this bill, obviously, because that would have helped him with Tesla.
And he hasn't said bad about me personally, but I'm sure that'll be next.
But see, that's messed up for him to say that. I mean, look. This is he's supposed to be the president of the United States. I still back him, at least for what he's doing good. Like I said, I've never thought he was some, I never put him on that pedestal. I always thought, as long as he does a good thing, I'm happy. But for them to have a falling out so quickly like this is kind of ridiculous. They worked together for months and months and months over saving America, and now they have one little beef, and then they're going to go this way. That's pretty immature, if you ask me. I gotta say it. This is pretty freaking immature on both sides. Okay, now maybe what our president's doing is a little bit of that, where like they do a little bit of beef back and forth and then they get back together and get along again. I don't know. We'll see if that happens. He does have some quirky ways to him. Our president does definitely do things that are not what everyone would expect. So maybe this is all about, maybe there's some other thing I'm missing here, but honestly, if it was just two dudes and they're just working together on a project, and then they just have one little thing go wrong and they all just start attacking each other, that's ridiculous. At any rate, so maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe you guys in the comment section can let me know. But it does seem kind of ridiculous for them to have such a falling out so quickly like this. But again, I mean, it is two guys that are known for getting what they wanted all the time. And I guess those type of heads will eventually butt. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Then we have this. Apparently now, a number of people are pointing out that Elon said our president is listed on, of course, those files. That's kind of interesting. Now, I don't know I don't think there is any direct connection where he's actually involved in anything. I don't think so, because if he was, then I don't think Elon would be a part of it. Like working with him and stuff. So I kind of feel like this is just more of like an attack or something. This is my guess. Although I wouldn't be surprised if he's listed but not went, if you know what I mean. Like maybe somehow his name is somewhere in the files somewhere. I wouldn't be too surprised because he's famous and simply because he's at one point or another met with him, right? It's hard to say, but I don't think he actually went, of course, to the place, you know, the island or any of that kind of stuff. So that's just kind of my thoughts on it. But I guess we'll see what happens and how this will all play out in the days ahead. Now, the thing with the Doomsday fish is rather curious because it fits into the stuff I've been discovering of recent. I seem to always find the pulse of what's happening. A little bit beforehand, we saw that mile-wide volcano off the west coast. We saw that other one that was underneath Australia, both underneath the water. That are very active. The one off the west coast is about ready to erupt. They're saying it's going to erupt this month. We have, of course, earthquakes on the Mississippi Basin. We have ones off the San Andreas Fault. We now have 2 doomsday fish, which indicate also something going on. Obviously, the name doomsday fish is called that for a reason. We'll get into that as well. But like I said, so something definitely is going on with that. But I wanted to get into all these other stories. We have a lot of people are trying to get by these days. It's hard to find a job. We're seeing people living literally in storage units now. Check this out. This is inside some guy's storage unit right here.
My kitchen area here.
Okay, here we go.
And I sort of zip tied it up. So you can't really tell its power is going to my unit unless you are looking closely. So this is my unit here. And at the top of the unit, you can see I have an antenna. And that's so I can get a cell signal inside the unit itself. Because
I can't believe they didn't see this yet. I'm sure the people that own the storage unit are eventually going to catch the cord that he sort of sneakily ran it along the other cords on the top of the storage and then have it come right down to his own storage unit.
Once you close the door, it drops all signal.
This is inside.
So in here, I've got my TV, entertainment center set up there. I've got my bed. I've got my kitchen area over there.
It's literally an apartment. He even has like a microwave. No, it's not a microwave. It's a toaster, I think. And getting away with it, obviously, for a while. I mean, look how it's set up. Then you have this one. This one I didn't show on my other channel. This one's kind of interesting. So this couple are living inside a storage unit.
I live in a storage unit because it's cheap in comparison to an apartment. Living here is actually really comfortable. I get a lot of things that I need and want to get done here. I can exercise.
I can't believe they even get this done.
I can play music anywhere in the unit.
The fact that he can even get away with all that, you know, obviously the people that own that storage unit maybe are not really paying attention so much to what's going on inside them. He goes in and shows kind of what's going on inside, which I already showed you. Of course, later that couple apparently got kicked out, which is not really surprising, but they do now have a home.
That was living in a storage unit. Now we have a home.
I live in a storage unit, climate controlled in here, so it's nice and warm.
So it was a climate control one as well. So they're living in this storage unit, and there's a bunch of people on TikTok putting out videos like that. And it's just kind of crazy, you know. At this point in time, buying a home can be very expensive. Prices have obviously went up. There's also the mortgage rates are not very good either. And also wages are going down. So a lot of people are finding it difficult to buy a home. And on top of that, we have, of course, Walmart jacking their prices up. That's going on as well. But I wanted to get into a little bit about Goodwill. So even Goodwill's jacking its prices up. Check this out. This is insane.
So we're going to try this again and check the prices. I don't know what a hobby tiger bag is. You can let me know in the notes, but it is $199.99.
200.
You can get a bot vacuum, and it is $49.99. Whoever painted this must be special. It's $49.99. I don't even know what these are. You can let me know in the comments, but it's $149.99. You can get this little frog necklace for $79.99.
What is he goes to multiple different Goodwills. This guy has a channel where he literally on TikTok, and he goes through several different Goodwills in his area, and they all have these ridiculous prices like this. I remember we used to go to Goodwill a long, long time ago. I think more than 10 years ago. We would go there sometimes to shop because obviously you could get cheap items. But apparently now they've realized people go there and buy stuff and then go resell it. And so they're like, hey, let's just cut out the middleman. Let's just sell for high prices. And this is what they're now doing at a lot of these Goodwills, is they're just putting ridiculous prices on stuff. And that's on top of Walmart doing the exact same thing, trying to blame it on tariffs, of course, which I've already disproven that can't be the case. It took me a while to figure it out because they don't make the information readily available. But if you look at the tariffs back in 2022, 2023 for Walmart, and you look at where they're at right now, they're the exact same number. Overall, 10%. There's no reason for them to be jacking prices other than a short temporary jacking of prices, maybe to cover the 3 weeks when the tariffs were insane, right? But the problem is, I don't really believe they bought a lot of stuff during that time. I don't believe it at all, because they have a 3-week time frame during the Chinese New Year, which is around early February, where they can't buy anything during that time either. So they clearly plan ahead when stuff like this happens, and they can easily avoid this and just simply, wait out the 3 weeks and then start buying stuff again. So I don't think these are legitimate price increases based on tariffs. For the most part, this is basically them just trying to raise prices. That's my theory. $83.26 from $57. You can see how they're doing this, raising the prices from $34 to $49. You can see how they been trying to raise these prices and get them up higher. And of course, they want to be able to blame it on something. What better way to do it than to blame it on the tariffs, right? Makes sense, at least in their mind. And a lot of people can't figure it out. But you even have workers in Walmart going through and showing which items were price hiked. You got some examples down here. But they're not really, they're like toys. A lot of them are just toys. And some are like a fishing reel here. You got toys. For the most part, it's mostly toys, it seems like. Okay, so that's what I've noticed, at least on the examples that being given at are really a much higher priced, is it's mainly just that stuff. Getting on to this whole thing with the Doomsday fish, I thought this is rather intriguing. So, 2 rare Doomsday fish wash ashore, sparking global superstition. Oarfish sightings in India and Australia have reignited fascination with the deep sea creatures long linked to natural disaster legends. And it actually makes perfect sense when you understand how our Earth works. Let me just show you a clip from Stephen Burns here. Check this out.
Hey everyone, geophysicist Stefan Burns here. We have a complex story to talk about today, a sequence of events which I find really interesting, a little concerning. This is a special report. We're going to go into a lot of different things, a lot of stuff that you've never heard before, probably anywhere else. I would like to be corrected on that, but in my own...
So he's talking about this Doomsday fish, 2 of them washing ashore. And he gets into more details in his video showing some seismic stuff going on. And maybe I can show you some of that real quick.
And so an elusive oarfish found at the ocean beach on Tasmania rugged west coast. And, they talk about it here, the beautiful colorful markings, how it's pretty rare. It's a rare thing. This is not that common.
And actually, there was 2 of them. There was one over also in, what was it, Indonesia? No, India. One was in India, one was in Australia. And this was a large one. The one in Australia was a very large one. And it shows that something is going on with sort of the magma and everything underneath the crust, because we also have a large movement of the magnetic pole, which I covered in the previous video. And we're seeing these volcanoes about ready to erupt. Very large one off the west coast. It's supposed to erupt this month. We'll get into all that and much more. First, I'm going to mention food supply, 25-year shelf life. Link is in the description. 3 months worth for $4.97. This is the lowest price they've ever had in the last 5 years. Definitely want to get this if you have not already. Link is in the description, and also this book here, The Lost Ways, How Your Great-Great-Grandfather Lived Without Electricity on a bit of cellar, do things around the house as they did in the good old days. Hundreds of pages illustrated. You're going to definitely need that before the power goes out. We don't know what's next. You've seen all the crazy stuff in the world. It's always wise to be prepared. Go check out my website. I just recently updated it. Also, we're actually starting to go somewhere on X and Twitter. So go check that out. Link in the description. Let's get back to the video. So, of course, we have the Earth magnetic pole is on the move. And scientists just updated its position. And this has to do with magma flow. Things are changing inside the Earth. And we have been seeing this. I've been calling this already for probably a week now. I've been talking about stories related to this because we're seeing an uptick in volcanic activity. We had Mount Etna in Italy erupt. We had also structures partially collapse in Pompeii archaeological site after earthquake that happened today. We're seeing a lot more earthquakes. We're seeing volcanoes about ready to erupt off the west coast. There was one under Australia, both underneath the water. You have here also you had a weird eruption, a little itty bitty one in Yellowstone National Park, which of course that's a super volcano, but they had a little itty bitty thing inside their erupt. That was news yesterday. You have changes in Earth's magnetic field are a main cause of volcanism, earthquakes, seismicity, and global warming. So we're seeing all these things occur all of recent, and it makes you wonder, are we going to be seeing some big volcanoes going off? A lot of people have been talking about this of recent, saying it's also tied, of course, into other things around us that are happening. This also, if you look at scripture, the same idea, it talks about these things can be tied into times and seasons. It's not just what you see in the stars. Sometimes you'll see constellations that are unique or a blood moon or something like that. But this is something seismic. This is something that's happening internally inside the Earth. And this could also be an indication of something else. All right? Maybe women going to Home Depot and trying to find men. I don't know. I turned off the music.
Rich A-figure, that's my type. That's my type.
Ooh, gotta find a man. Women going to Home Depot to find men, dude. This is hilarious. Like, seriously. This is where women are at. Some women are really at that point. They're like, we're going to go to Home Depot and find men. We're going to go to Home Depot and find men. All right. So this is actually a trend.
This is adorable.
I guess it's getting pretty bad out there. It's getting pretty bad. So the women have to find men in Home Depot. They're on aisle 14, I think. So obviously probably women a little bit older want to get married or something, looking for a guy that actually has a job, maybe. I'm guessing is what they're looking for. A guy that actually has some responsibilities in life. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's what it is. Right? So.
Okay, so I heard that apparently on TikTok, y'all are saying that if you want a man's, go to Home Depot. So I'm gonna get me a man, I guess. Shit, there's one already. All right, cool.
Goodness gracious, what in the world's going on here? Ah, yes, the world's gone crazy. Indeed. People living in storage units, women looking for men at Home Depot, and apparently people are trying to find jobs. They're trying to find jobs and they're having a hard time finding them. You have here a woman talking about trying to find a good job.
I have a bachelor's degree. About a year ago, I posted a video saying, I don't know if I'm ever going to find a job again because I had been looking for so long and no one had given me anything. This is what has happened since I posted that video. 2 months after I posted that video, I got a job offer. 20 hours a week, $16 an hour. 5 months after I started that job, the entire company shut down. 2 months after that company shuts down, I get another job. I'm a dog walker. The most they can give me is about $300 of work per week. So I get.
You know what's crazy about that is someone in my neighborhood, they actually walk dogs. I think there's 2 people that do it actually. in my neighborhood. And my neighborhood's actually a pretty good neighborhood. So it's like, obviously a lot of people are looking for work. Dog walking is apparently a job. So a lot of people are doing that.
Job. I am a petition circulator. I work 40 hours a week, $19 an hour. I'm great at it. This is amazing. I'm finally making a decent amount of money, and the Florida government passes a law that all but bans petition circulating. So now I am back to dog walking, which again pays about...
Well, that sucks. So she actually had a good paying job and then just lost it because of the Florida. And that happened to my brother. Not the same kind of thing, but my brother, he had a really good business going where he would clean out foreclosures. That, so he would just clean out foreclosures for the state government. I think it was the state government. Or maybe it was some banks. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was something. He was cleaning out foreclosures. I think it was with the banks. And apparently but it was through a state government website. That's what it was. Okay, so it was through a state government website in Michigan. He was cleaning out all these foreclosures through the banks that would get, obviously taken from the person and that couldn't pay, right? So he would go in and clean them all up, right? And he was making a ton of money doing it, actually. He was making quite a bit of money doing it. And then the Michigan government decided, let's change the whole system. You have to be in this group here to do it. There's 5 different groups. You only get these houses and that. They just started doing all this weird stuff to it. And then my brother couldn't get any work after that. So then he ended up... It's just ridiculous, like this is the kind of stuff sometimes these governments do and they don't even know what they're doing. Speaking of government, Elon apparently having a falling out with our president, and it's actually Elon's in the right on this one. He's in the right. He's saying, look, we cut all this money, all this waste, right, through Doge. And what does our president do? He puts forth a bill, a big, beautiful one, right? That essentially overspends and basically nullifies what they did pretty much so far with Doge. And it is our president that's actually going a different direction than he used to. So it's actually him doing it. As you can see in these tweets, you can see that he was against overspending. Yet now he, for some reason, puts out a bill which does overspend. So he did indeed go against what he used to do. I don't think Elon actually is in the wrong. I think it's the other way around. Of course, our president's like, we had a great relationship. I don't know if we will anymore. I'm very disappointed. Why are you disappointed, bro? I think, honestly, you're the one in the wrong. Our president's the one in the wrong. It makes sense to me. I mean, at any rate, I think you get kind of the idea. So you got that story. And, of course, we got Disney as well, apparently with layoffs. And they're having a lot of issues getting people to come to their parks now, losing money left and right, hundreds of layoffs across TV, film, and corporate finance. I'm guessing that's not going to be their only layoffs because apparently they're doing pretty badly when it comes to they're doing pretty badly with Disney World right now, like really low traffic. So they're obviously losing money there as well. We have, of course, also Mel here recently saying something. We had a Disney film that's coming out, Fantastic Four. And, of course, we're seeing some comments from Pedro Pascal that were not exactly in line with his fans. Pretty woke sounding stuff. And we had Mel apparently here put out something where he said that he looks at Pedro Pascal. He actually said this. He said, I'm trying to find where the quote is. Oh, here it is. Okay. You look at these guys like Robert De Niro and even this guy, Pedro Pascal, they hate their fans. They really have no respect for them and how they are the people that brought them into this business. And look at the films like Fantastic Four, which are driven by Marvel fans. I'm very well aware of how beloved the brand is. Many of my buddies and sons love Marvel. There's been a disappointment to them in recent years. He said this recently because a lot of people are talking about this. But if you're interested, we are working on a game that's what you would call anti, of course, woke. It's one of faith as well. Noah VR. It's also called Apocryphon Genesis. You can get involved if you're interested. and be able to make a profit if you get a seat. We have, I think it's a little bit less than 150 shares at this point. They're 400 each. You'll get a cut of 33% of no RVR profits. 700 people total are involved. They will get 33% of the cut of the no RVR profits when we release the game. The game is mostly done, but we have to also do testing and marketing. But if you're interested, you can get in on the ground level and make a profit with us. Link is in the description for that. You have also, of course, a number of other stories that I could get into, but I think I've covered quite a bit. I'll probably have to do it on the next video. Kind of wondering what some of you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.